Hello everyone, welcome back. I've been experimenting a little bit with running a pistol light on the top rail of an AR-15. Now the question becomes, why would you want to do something like that? Well, in the past it didn't make any sense because pistol lights were only like 100, 200 looms. But nowadays you can get pistol lights pretty cheap for 800 looms. So this is a Streamlight TLR1HL. It's got 800 looms. I bought it for $100 around Christmas time. So it's pretty cheap. So now here by comparison, I have an 800 loom. Again, there's also Streamlight light, and you can see that this is longer. Okay, and the other thing is that when you mount this, right, you can see that the rifle light on the side sticks out a little bit more because you have this space. So the pistol light is a bit more compact. And it does not interfere with your red dot, because if you have a front sight post over here, if I put up my front sight, it's pretty much in the same position, right? So that the top part kind of hits where that front sight post ends, and I have no trouble, basically, co-witnessing my iron sights and seeing over the top of this Streamlight pistol light. So I don't think it's a terrible idea. It might make a lot of sense for somebody that, obviously if you have a quad rail, it's not an issue. Now this handguard here, allows me to put these 3-slot rails on the side, so I can mount a rifle light like this. But here's the thing: you may not want to put these things here, and there's a lot of reasons why you may not put it there. It might be that you like putting your hand exactly there, or you might have a really short barrel. So these are all considerations. On my main gun, my go-to gun, right, that I have set up permanently for night shooting. That one I have a rifle light. Let me get this off. I have a rifle light set up. Okay, I have a rifle light set up like this on the right side. There you go. So I have a rifle light set up on the right side with a pressure pad on top. And the reason why you want the light on the opposite side of your sling so that the two don't interfere. Okay, so then you got to pretty much run a pressure pad on top over here. Now what happened is that at one point this was my my main night shooting gun. So I had this set up with the light on this side and the pressure pad on top, and then I decided I wanted to use a different gun. So I took the light off of this, all right, and then what I decided is that, I occasionally want to use this gun for nighttime shooting. So what I did is I put another rail on this side, so now I can mount the light on the other side. All right, and the benefit of putting it on this side, on the right side, okay. Well, first of all, the disadvantage, right, as you can see, is that the light is now shining into the sling. So that sling needs to come out. So sling comes back here. So as you guys can see, it's really important that the sling goes on the rifle first, right, and then you start mounting stuff around the sling, because if you start putting lights and stuff on the gun, and then you go to put the sling and you start moving around with it, the sling can get basically caught up and tangled up on things. Okay, so now I've got the light on the left side, where now I don't have to put a pressure pad on top over here, and now I can basically just work this with my thumb. Okay, so this was working great, and this allows me to easily take it off, so I can occasionally use this for nighttime shooting. But as you can see, this is big compared to this. Okay, all right, so as a possibility, right? One of the options that you now have, because they make pistol lights that are small, compact like this, and are 800 looms, you can mount the pistol light there, and then you don't need to have these things over here. You don't need to have the three slot rails, which can be annoying, because this handguard here is a smooth handguard, right? Where now, I've had to put these things on over here, and depending on what I'm doing, these can be in the way. But now, normally when I shoot this gun, I'm either holding it behind it, like this, or I'm anchoring in front of it, like this, okay? But again, this can get in your way depending on how you like to set your gun up. Okay, so this is really a personal thing. So I'm kind of putting this out there as an option. Putting the pistol light on top, it's not going to interfere. It's not going to get in your way of the co-witness over here. Now, why do I have iron sights on this gun? The reason why I have iron sights is because occasionally I like to switch out the red dot. Okay, so if I switch out the red dot, it's really easy for me to zero the gun back up again if I put a new red dot in there, because I just use the iron sights as a reference point. So that's why I keep iron sights on the rifle. Basically they're backup sights. But here's the thing. I mean, this red dot here, it's got solar powered and it's got a backup battery, so it's not likely that it would ever fail me. So it's more of just having the ability to easily change out red dots. Okay, so that's why the iron sights are there. So I can flip these down. Okay, and on my I have a couple of ARs that have the fixed front sight post, and I find it very useful because this gun over here is set up with a circle dot. With the circle dot, it's easy to come up and find that dot. If you only have a dot, having a front sight post is actually good because it gives you a point of reference so that you can easily find that dot of yours. But here's the thing, now if I flip this down, the top of the light is now a reference point, so that when you come up, you know exactly where that red dot is going to be. So it's definitely not in the way, and it could be helpful if you're trying to do, trying to do like fast target acquisition, trying to get to that red dot real fast. I don't know. I mean, I'm probably not going to keep this gun like this. I'm probably going to go back to taking this off and leaving the rails on. And then if I want to shoot this at night, I'm just going to put this big boy on there. Now, there is a difference, and I'm going to include some footage from a couple nights ago when I was shooting at night. What I did is I mounted both of these lights on the gun. And remember, they're both 800 looms. I had this one on the side, all right, and then I had this one on top. Okay, and I had this one on top like that. Okay, the other one on the side. And I shot them both, and what you guys will see is, first I started shooting the rifle light, and you'll see that I'm shooting at those rims over there, which are 30 yards, and I'm pretty quickly able to go through the rims. I'm not getting any splashback from the light, because what's happening is when you shoot at night, there's smoke, right? Smoke's there in the daytime, right? So smoke coming out of the barrel, but in the daytime, it's not a problem, okay? But at night, if you're shooting, the light can bounce back from the smoke. So when I was shooting the rifle light, it was less of a hindrance. I was not having any problem going rapidly from target to target to target. When I switched to the pistol light, I was having a little bit more difficulty. Now, first, I had 3 levels of difficulty. The first level was just finding the buttons over here, because I'm not used to working this light on top of where it is, on top of that flat top. So initially I just had some trouble just finding the light, to put my fingers on the button. So that's a training issue. Basically, if you want to run the light like this, you got to practice with this. Okay, you got to practice having an anchoring point where that thumb is on that button. Okay, so that's the first issue that I had. But that's a training issue. The second issue that I had is when I did find it, I pushed the button down 2 times, and it started blinking. Okay, this light has that feature where if you hit it 2 times really fast, it will blink, which I find really annoying. Now, with the with this light over here, this has that feature too, but Streamlight lets you program it out. So I was able to program it out, so if I push this button 2 times really fast, it's not going to start blinking. So I like that better. I don't like that blinking thing. It just confuses me. So with this one, right, with the HLR, with TLR 1 HL, as far as I can tell, I'm not able to program out the blinking feature. So that was the second issue I had. Then the third issue is, as you guys watch me shooting, okay, after I work out the issues with the blinking, you'll notice that I'm going a little bit slower from target to target to target. And the reason is because the light is reflecting back on me, and then through the smoke, I'm just having a hard time seeing those targets at 30 yards. Okay, so those rims over there are basically about, you know, about head size. So if somebody's poking their head out from somewhere, it'll be about the size of those rims over there, which are about whatever 12 inches or so. So you'll notice that as far as how quick, you'll notice the difference how quickly I'm going from target to target. The smoke reflecting back, the light reflecting back on me on the smoke was an issue. I mean that's what it is. Now, as far as how far I could see with both of these lights, right? If I'm not shooting and I'm just shining the light out there, I could easily see the 30 yards. I could see pretty good to 50 yards, right? At 75 yards, I can see, but I'm starting to see less things. The shadows are starting to kind of get in the way. So once you get past 75 yards, what you're able to see definitely starts diminishing. At 100 yards, I can also kind of see, but you know, I mean, you can tell that there's objects out there, but you're not going to see as well. Now, both of these lights are rated for like 300 meters, which is like 270 yards. But that, I don't know if that's like in an open field, you know. Out here in the real world where you got trees and stuff, you know, and you got shadows, realistically speaking, both of these lights with 800 looms are 50-yard lights, you know, 50 yards, 75 yards tops. 100 yards, you know, you may catch a glimpse of something, but if something's hiding, you're definitely not going to see it. You know, as far as if something is hiding, yeah, it pretty much has to be inside of 50 yards. I mean, that's the reality that they don't tell you on the box when you're buying it, you know. But you know, I mean, it's better than nothing. Okay, so, but that's the reality. Now, the other thing that you'll notice in the video, okay, if you look at the rifle light versus the pistol light, in the video you will notice that the rifle light is brighter. Okay, now I think that the camera kind of, because I think there was a small difference that I was able to notice, but I think that the camera kind of exaggerated it a little bit, not a lot, a little bit. And I don't. Now the other thing I wanted to point out as far as light reflecting back on you, because here's the thing: when you're looking out, right? Let's say I'm using the pistol light, and I'm looking out. You know, when I'm shooting, right, and I'm going from target to target, you know, the target may disappear for a second because of the smoke that's in front of me and the light's reflecting back on me. But the thing to understand is that if there's somebody down there looking at you, they don't have that problem, because what's happening is the more the light reflects back on you, the more it lights you up. Okay, so while you got your light on and you're shooting through it, to an observer, right, whether it be the person that you're shooting at or somebody looking at you from the sides, right, what they start seeing is they start seeing you glow, because you got all the smoke around you and your own light is reflecting back on you. So with either light you're gonna glow, but with the pistol light, because it was reflecting back on me more, that means that you're also gonna glow more to somebody who's looking at you at a distance. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna play that footage from a couple nights ago when I was shooting these two lights, and like I said, what I did is I had both of these lights mounted on the gun like this, and first I shot it with the rifle light, and then I shot it with the pistol light. So let's take a look at that, and then we'll talk a little bit in the comment section. Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm doing a little experimenting tonight, and what I have here, I have mounted two lights on this AR-15. One is a pistol light, which I have on top, on the flat top, and the other one is a rifle light, which I've mounted onto the side. Both of these are 800 looms. Now the pistol light is a little bit more compact, and I'm trying to see if you know, if I have a rifle that I generally don't shoot at night too much, does it make sense for me to run it like this, right? To put the pistol light in front of the front sight post, where I can flip this up if I need a backup sight, flip it down out of the way, and I just want to see if this will work for me. So let's try this out. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be shooting. I'm going to shoot successive rounds, and when I see that I can't see my target anymore from the smoke, I'm going to stop. So I want to see if there's a difference between the two lights as far as if one can penetrate more through the smoke or not. Okay, so turn off my hat light, and let's start this exercise. So first I'm gonna go with the rifle light. I had no problem seeing the target. The target I'm shooting at is about 30 yards away, and I have been able to, with both of these lights, I am able to see out to about 75 yards. Maybe catch a little bit of a glimpse at 100 yards, but I would say that you want to be inside of 50 yards with these lights. Okay, so I'm going to try now the pistol light that's mounted on top. So here's the thing. I'm definitely having a little bit more smoke issues. Okay, with the light being on top, I was definitely seeing a lot more smoke. Because what's happening is as you're shooting this, the smoke kind of creates a reflection, which bounces the light back on you. So that was happening less with the rifle light, which was mounted on the side, more with the pistol light that was mounted on top. However, I'm thinking this is not a terrible idea. If you're not planning to use the gun at night, if it's primarily intended as a daytime gun, and then you just want to just quickly throw a pistol light on top of a flat top if you need it, without having to add all the extra rails, because basically this rail over here, as you can see here, I've mounted, 3 slot rails on the side, which basically is just more bulk on the rifle. So it's not a terrible idea. It's definitely not as good as having a dedicated rifle light on the side, but it's not a terrible idea if you don't have rails on the side to mount a rifle light. So something I'd have to think about a little bit more, but it's not a terrible idea. It can work. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys soon.